Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and we're producing this episode for GoodCrowd.info. Our guest today is a remarkable special guest. We're just thrilled to have her with us, Bobbi Rebell. She is the author of How to Be a Financial Grownup and an anchor and correspondent at Reuters. Bobbi, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Devin. I'm so happy to be joining you. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of yours, and thank you for all of the good work that you do, getting out the word on so many wonderful fundraising and philanthropic projects that all of your guests are busy with, and we really appreciate having you and the great journalism that you do. So thank you for having me, and I feel honored to be in the crowd of people that you have had on.
Well, thank you. We have had some remarkable people on the show, like you. We're excited to have you on the show. You and I have a mutual friend, if we can call him that. I don't. It's a little presumptuous for me to call him that, but you probably are on a first name basis with Tony Robbins. But Tony did our show last fall. Great guy, as he recently did a financial book as well. And in fact,
his name.
Yeah. So anyway, he is one of the people featured in your book, right?
He is. In fact, Tony, one of the people I truly admire. And when I started thinking about who would be good for this book, he was absolutely on the list. And I was so thrilled that he was able to be in the book. I remember I was nervous to even ask him to do it because he's Tony Robbins. And we can say we're on a first name basis, but the truth is he's Tony Robbins. Come on. But I remember approaching him about it and being so nervous. And his face lit up when I told him about the project and what I was going to do, and hoping to raise money for DonorsChoose and teachers that promote learning about money in the classroom, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. And he was so excited to be part of it. He immediately started going through possible, what I call financial grownup moments, which are kind of the time that you realize you have to pay attention to money. And we selected one, and he wanted to be even more involved with the book. And in the end, he ended up, in fact, writing the foreword to How to Be a Financial Grownup. So we're thrilled to have Tony be part of this project, and he's such a wonderful example for so many of us, and has really taught so many people about money and paying attention, knowing what's going on, knowing what fees you're paying, knowing how investing works, all through Money Master the Game. So everyone should get my book, but also make sure to check out Tony's book if you haven't already.
Yeah. What I loved about Tony is he used his book to advance his effort to feed America, the Feeding America program last year, and I think he was successful in facilitating 100 million meals last year. Really quite an accomplishment. And so you have followed in his stead. You have picked a way to have an impact with your book. Let's talk a little bit about that. You're doing an effort here where you're basically funding a crowdfunding campaign for teachers. Tell us how that works.
Right. Well, I am funding, and I do have a co-sponsor, and that is one of the role models in my book. That's Elliot Weisbooth. He is the founder and CEO of Hightower. So we're so happy that he joined in and really amplified the program. But essentially, if people purchase the book on pre-sale, and the hardcover, it's $18 on Amazon. You can buy it anywhere, but we use that as just a price point. For your $18, we will then send you a gift code for $18 to donate to DonorsChoose to my page. It's basically go to DonorsChoose.org/financial grownup. All the information is on BobbiRebell.com on the Giving Back page, which you highlighted in your wonderful article. And you go there, there's a bunch of projects there. These are all teachers that are prioritizing teaching their children about money. And they don't get the funding that they need to buy the supplies. So they go to DonorsChoose.org, they ask for help, they put on exactly what they need to teach children, and hopefully, with the help of my readers and with the help of Hightower, we can get them the money they need. It's the start of the school year, Devin. Today, I dropped my son. I have a 9-year-old starting 3rd grade. I dropped him off at his school this morning, first day of school. He has everything he needs for school. These kids don't. So I really hope that people will proactively get a copy of the book, follow the directions on the website. It's all in your article, and get your gift codes and go on, ideally with your children, pick out a project and support a teacher in need.
That's great. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful program that you've got going. Now, tell us a little bit more about your book. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, Devin, we're at a really tough time in America where so many people are struggling economically, trying to get ahead, but they're not always given the tools to do so. We rarely teach financial literacy in school, certainly not in high school, a little bit better in college, but it's tough. And without those tools, people can't get ahead and just get a hold on what they need to do to have a sense of their money and gaining a footing in life. So I thought it was important to do a very basic introductory book. There are a lot of good books out there, but very often people buy them, they're given them, they don't read them. So it was really important to me to find a way to grab readers' attention. And what better way than to have basically money celebrities. And so I thought about getting together a big list of authentic money role models. And they range from Tony Robbins and Elliot, that I mentioned, Elliot Weissbooth, to actors like Drew Barrymore has an amazing story in there. A little teaser has to do with Steven Spielberg and some advice that he gave her when she was just about 7 years old. She had an incredible background. I perceived her wrongly as someone that was Hollywood royalty because of her grandfather and all this. Far from it. She really struggled financially growing up. She was not handed anything. She worked so hard for so much, and the advice that Steven Spielberg gave her at that young age really helped guide her and make her the successful entrepreneur that she is today. We have so many wonderful people. We have Sally Krawcheck from Elevate. We have Cynthia Rowley is wonderful. Kevin O'Leary, one of my favorites from Shark Tank. He also has O-Shares. So I really wanted to get a well-rounded group of people to tell different stories about how they started paying attention to money and have that resonate with people, grab their attention, get them interested. And then I kind of snuck in all this advice with a whole team of experts that I've met over the years, being a journalist here at Reuters, which has been great. And so we have actual actionable things that you can do, specific things that you can do to improve your financial situation and help make the right decisions for you. Everyone has different things they're facing. Everyone has different variables, but these are things that will help you make the right decision for your particular circumstance.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, as we think about the book and the problem, juxtaposing the problem of the sort of financial illiteracy, the key is to get more people to read the book. And I think the crowdfunding campaign is a brilliant way to extend the reach. But what are your strategies and tactics that you're using to attract an audience within that context to get more people to read the book and get the benefits from it?
Well, talking to people like you, of course, is a first start, and we will be doing more of a campaign. One of the other things that works well is so many of the role models that we've engaged to be part of this book are eager to also promote helping people learn about money, financial literacy. Even, for example, Kevin O'Leary has written amazing books also about learning about money. So the list was really curated very specifically to people that also share a passion for spreading the word and really engaging the audience and getting people interested and excited about being in control of their financial decisions and making, deliberate money decisions. Do things on purpose. You may make the wrong decision sometimes. That's okay. We can correct. You may be late to the game investing. That's okay. Get started now. But at least be proactive and take action, and that's the best way to get on track. And so by getting together this group of very engaged role models, and the experts, I should say, as well, that, I hope, will help amplify our message and get more people excited about paying attention to their money.
Now, it really is an important topic, and I'm glad you've tackled it. You really are, you're a big deal.
Yeah.
You are seen by millions of people on television. You really wield an influence at Reuters and make a difference in the world. But I wonder, just to get an insight into you, who you look up to as a role model when you are, in fact, a role model for so many.
Well, I don't know about that. So I have 30 role models in this book. So it's very hard to choose a favorite. But as I did mention before, Tony Robbins certainly is the standout. And I was so honored that he did write the foreword to this book. He really believed in the message of promoting financial literacy, of people paying attention. He inspired me in many ways to write the book. I've been listening to and reading his work for years. I'm really trying, Tony, I'm sorry if you see this, I'm trying to get to one of his seminars, but he's inspired me. When he says live with passion, he means it. And you have to be deliberate. Nothing gets handed to you. This was a very ambitious project, Devin. As much as Reuters has given me such a wonderful background and meeting people and getting to know incredible, high-achieving individuals, this is still something that I did on my own, that I had to ask these people to participate. And you get intimidated. I mean, to ask Tony Robbins to do this, oh my goodness. But Tony Robbins inspired me to have the courage to do that, because these things do take a lot of courage. And I was very scared, frankly, of rejection when I went to ask people to be part of this project. And the opposite happened. People could not have been more enthusiastic and engaged and happy to share their experiences with this. I mean, there are just so many wonderful stories in the book that I look forward to people hearing about.
You know, it's interesting that you use role models in your book, because I think role models are so incredibly powerful. I tend to think that role models are as, or maybe even more important than mentors. Mentors, sort of by their definition, are people you have access to. Oftentimes, role models are more important because they are more accomplished. You may not have access to them, but in this day and age of social media and everything else, we can actually come to know quite a bit about our role models and learn from them, and their examples can be very enabling for us in the things that we want to achieve. So I think it's exciting that you have used role models in your book, because I am a firm believer in the value and importance of role models. Now, you could be doing a lot of different things, Bobbi, as you think about your time and the way to wield your influence. Why did you feel like writing a book was such an important way for you to manifest?
I have to tell you, I was actually inspired. I have my grandfather, his name was Robert Bagley. I might get a little emotional, Devin. So when myself and my cousins and my siblings got around the time we were all getting out of college, he decided that we had to learn to do more than just earn money and save money, because I grew up with parents that were really good about that stuff. We had budgets and they did teach me about money. But Grandpa Bob wanted us to learn to invest. And so he started giving us some money to invest in various size checks, different years, different amounts. And the big condition that he had for us was that we had to choose a stock, have a reason, make it be deliberate, and then report back to him what we bought and why. And that really taught me a lot of lessons about stuff. And he unfortunately passed away somewhat recently at the age of 103.
Holy cow.
Incredible life. He was an incredible man, and he taught us so much about investing. And, I just felt, so I did get a modest inheritance from him, and I decided to use part of that to fund my portion. As I mentioned, Hightower and role model Elliot Weiss is also amplifying it. But that was sort of the initial seed money to do this kind of campaign, because I just think this is what he would have wanted. He would be so excited to see that children that were not as lucky and as fortunate as his great-grandchildren, when I talk about my son starting his first day of school, we're going to hopefully get more of the supplies and the tools that they need for their classrooms and for their teachers. And these are teachers that really prioritize teaching about money. It is not something that is mandatory in many schools at all. It is not something that we are talking enough about. And hopefully we'll be able to raise money and get these teachers what they need. It's the start of the school year, so the timing could not be better. And I hope people will really reach out. As I said, all of the information is in your amazing article. And check out the teacher projects. And by the way, you can definitely give more than the $18. So don't be shy about that. Please round up, add a digit if you want. You can do that too. And help us raise a lot of money for these wonderful, wonderful teachers.
Oh, that's great. It really is impressive. And I love the story of where that money came from. That really is powerful. And I appreciate you sharing that with us. Bobbi, we like to ask all of our guests for what we call an impact hack, a tip that would help us to do more good in the world. What is your impact hack?
I think, Devin, what I learned with this book is that it's really important to be persistent and go for what you want, but at the same time, always be polite and nice, because you want people to give something to you and to take their time to, in this case, to either do an interview with me, in person, by phone, sometimes it was by email, different, however we could make it happen. And they're giving their time, and they're giving their name, and they're giving their support. So it's really important to always just be nice and be appreciative. So even though as a reporter I have to always be persistent and go after it, I learned that being nice really does pay off. And I think that this book is really proof of that, because the people in it are incredibly giving people, really supportive, and really want to share and really want to help and have an impact, as you say. So that would be my advice.
Oh, that's great. Great advice. Well, Bobbie, we are so thrilled that you would take time to be on the show today, and thank you very much. Before you go, please take a moment and tell people again how they can pre-order the book and how they can participate in the crowdfunding program.
For all the rules regarding the gift card giveaway, go to BobbiRebell.com and just go to the Giving Back page, or you can get all the information from Devin's article. Follow me on Twitter at Bobbi Rebell. You can like my Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Bobbi Rebell is my author page. And I'm on Instagram at Bobbi Rebell1, but I don't post as much as I should. I love Instagram. I think I'm going to get better at Instagram. I'm trying. I got to learn all those fancy camera filter stuff, but all good stuff. And all good to you. Thank you so much, Devin. This has been wonderful.
Well, thank you, Bobbie. It's been a thrill to have you, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Really great insights.
And thank you in advance for anyone's support and any money that you give to my DonorsChoose efforts. I really appreciate it.
All righty. Let's do some good.